Howdy folks, welcome to the channel Rockin' the Country. I'm Don. I've got a goofy grin on my face right now because Jeff Cather made a gift to the channel and Jeff made a faux pas. It was understandable, but first, thanks for the gift, Jeff, and I'm totally going to do this reaction because I absolutely love this song. Love it so much that it was the very first reaction I did on the channel along with Dierks Bentley's Somewhere on a Plane. And it gives you an indication of how I started the channel. I did Nashville country at first, but Miranda is like a happy blend between, she was my favorite artist for 10 years, and she's still right up there. I think Waylon may have replaced her, but she's got more songs that penetrate my soul, my heart, that I can relate to from my life experience than any other artist. But of late, Waylon is like really, I've always liked Waylon, but it's way up there. But Somewhere on a Plane, if I were to do that now, half you people would skewer me because it's not traditional country. And that's by and large what I do, but not exclusively. But it's non-pop country that I do. So anyhow, Miranda's Automatic is a phenomenal song, and Jeff has great taste in music, so this one I'm totally doing it, but that's why I had fun. And here's what Jeff said in his email. Hi Don, here's another request inspired by this weekend's selections. Your selection of Miranda Lambert put me in a Miranda mood. I can't believe you haven't reacted to this nostalgic song of hers, sort of in the vein of The House That Built Me. And yes, it is. The House That Built Me is totally nostalgic, but Automatic is right there with it. And it said the Vivo video is blocked, but you should watch it. It's well done. So I'll watch the video, but I'll only post the audio for those of you. So that's why I have a grin on my face, because it was the very first one I did. And I can guarantee it, this song gets way above an 8.9. I don't know what I'm going to rate it this time. I don't even know if I rated it in the first video. I think I did rate my very first videos, but I don't recall. But anyhow, here we go. Yeah, I know this video well.
Watching sun tea in the window, pocket watch, but telling time. Seems like only yesterday I'd get a blank cassette, record the country countdown, cause I couldn't buy it yet.
Yeah, I did that with the top 40.
If we drove all the way to Dallas just to buy an Easter dress, we'd take along a Rand McNally, stand in line to pay for gas. God knows that shifting gears ain't what it used to be. I learned to drive that 55 just like a queen, 3 on a tree.
Yep.
Hey, whatever happened to waiting your turn, doing it all by hand? Cause when everything is handed to you, it's only worth as much as the time you put in.
Yep.
It all just seems so good the way we had it, back before everything became automatic.
It's really tough to stop the song, but they get blocked more often than not when you don't. But it's true. I've experienced this in life, that when I give something to people, and I've given a lot in my time, that they don't value it as much as if they had to work for it. And I can say, when I look back in my life too, I think it's the same way with me. I think it's just human nature that the more sunk costs, the more you want something, the more you have to work for it and strive for it. When you get it, you finally value it more, because just so much more of your heart and soul is into its acquisition, or whatever the object might be. It could even be education. A book, it could be anything. And the thing she's talking about here is like when you have to work for something and then get after it and drive all the way to Dallas just to get an Easter dress. But all these things you just you value them more when it's harder. But I guess there's a balance to be struck. All right, let's go.
Turn them down, staying married was the only way to work your problems out. Hey, whatever happened to waiting your turn?
Yeah.
Doing it all by hand, 'cause when everything is handed to you, it's only worth as much as the time you put in. It all just seems so good the way we had.
Love that truck.
It all just seems so good the way we had it. Back before everything became automatic. Yeah. Automatic.
Some of the sounds electronified. I love opening that. Yeah. That is just one of those songs too that you just smile about. It was just so well done. And yeah, I mean, nostalgia. I mean, it's one of those things where when you drive through the town you grew up in, assuming you've moved away from it, and most of us do, that you go back and you drive past your grammar school, or you go on the street where you did mischief, or this is where so and the girl you liked lived in that house, but she never would give you the time of day, or this is where my buddies and I rode our bikes or our sleds. That's where we picked strawberries. That's the high school. That's where I played tennis. That's where we got into fights. That's where different teacher, all of it. You just, this whole feeling nostalgia just encapsulates so much experience that you can't even necessarily describe, but you just feel it, and just all the parts she depicted. And in the video, opening up the trunk and sees it all, and there's all the memories, the cassette tapes from the country countdown, and we can all relate, almost all of us anyway, to recording. For me, it was the Pop 40 countdown at the end of the year, or they were, the radio stations in your area, but I lived in Jersey, so ours came out of New York, would play, the top 100 songs of the year. And you had to be near your tape recorder because the microphone, you'd have to put it up to your radio. And it's just funny because nowadays we've got these digital recordings that are so crystal clear, but back then it didn't matter. Like you'd be playing cassette tapes on relatively inexpensive recorders with cheap microphones set up against a radio. You had to tell your family to be quiet because you're recording. And then you'd eventually have these songs and you'd cut the commercials out, so you had to do your diligence. You had to be there to record just your songs and not the commercials, because there wasn't a way to edit your cassette tapes. You just had to fast forward past it and then hope that you hit the spot of the next song. It was annoying. So you only wanted your songs and that kind of thing. But, you know, using a road map instead of GPS, I mean, you just did it. You made it work, you know, and human beings aren't any smarter today than they were 50 years ago or 100 years ago. I mean, in, what was it, 69, we landed on the moon. And it took a lot of effort to do that, a lot of brain power with the materials available. Very, very bright people pulled it off. Things move along, but human nature doesn't change much at all. Kids today will have their version of having to work for things, and in the future they might be instantly transported to school, you know, or kind of like the way we microwave food. Maybe a machine will be invented where they just get transported to school, or they take a pill and suddenly they know science or whatever. I don't know, and they'll look back and say how archaic it is today, but hey. All right, Jeff, I am going to rate this song, and the number that popped into my head immediately was a 9.4. I always did. Obviously, I chose this and Derek's. I did both songs on the very first reaction. There were two songs on the one video that I did. It was like 22 or 23 minutes long, and Miranda's was one of them. Maybe that's why you didn't spot it on the channel with a search. So there you go. Have a great day, folks. See you on another video. Keep rocking the country.